Brian Armstrong is the founder and CEO of Coinbase, one of the world's most successful crypto exchanges. With a net worth of over $6 billion and driving in the front seat of crypto innovation, Brian really is helping to create the future of crypto. Now, if you're curious to know how Brian Armstrong invests in crypto himself, the number one thing that most annoys him about the crypto market, and his thoughts on the future of crypto, then that's what we'll be looking at. So we'll start with how Brian Armstrong invests in the crypto market himself, how his company Coinbase is building the future of crypto, and then we'll finish with regulation. As Brian works closely with regulators, what are the latest developments? As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, so being the front man in one of the leading crypto exchanges, Brian will have access to all the latest strategies and tactics on how to invest in crypto. So, curious to know how Brian invests himself? Check it out.
I was never really a trader or anything like that, to be honest. I was more of like a tech guy. I still to this day, like we have a huge institutional business, and I go to Wall Street and I talk to all these firms that are onboarding, and now like big institutional traditional players are all moving a bunch of money into crypto. And frankly, they speak like a different language. I'm still like trying to learn the language after, many years. And I have a bunch of amazing people on our team who come from that world and are able to grow that part of our business. But I don't really actively trade crypto either. I buy and hold. I'm in the camp of like, I never really want to sell Bitcoin or other crypto that I own, like unless I need to buy something specific. So I feel like this is the future of the financial system. I think in 20 years, it'll be a substantial portion of global GDP. And I'm in it to create more freedom. That's what I'm all about. There's a lot of, one thing that kind of bugs me about the crypto industry at times is like, I do think there's too much focus on like short-term thinking and get rich quick and all that, like the Lambos and all that. I think it's unhealthy because first of all, a lot of people are just going to get in for the wrong reasons, and then something's going to crash and they're going to lose money, and that's not good for any of us. That's what really pisses off regulators and people like that, is they come in, hey, consumers aren't being protected, right? So I've always tried to think of this as long-term thinking. How do we ensure that consumers have appropriate disclosures? How are they making well-informed choices, like dollar cost average in with a small amount of your net worth and hold for the long term? And it's not really about the speculation too. It's about how do we actually use this stuff for more and more parts of the economy? Because as we get more and more people actually using crypto, everything else makes sense. It's no longer speculation. And the good news is that that's finally happening.
So the founder and CEO of Coinbase is a simple buy and hold guy. And he recommends just dollar cost averaging in with a small portion of your net worth. Simple. And the one thing that really annoys him about the crypto market is this get rich quick mentality, as this is how people can lose a lot of money, and it's also what the regulators don't like as well. Okay, next up. As Coinbase is one of the leading exchanges, Brian really is in the front seat of crypto innovation. So, how is Brian Armstrong building the future through Coinbase, and what is the vision? Check it out.
I'll break it down into three parts because we actually have three different customer segments now as a multi-product company. So the first customer segment is individual people, retail investors, if you will. The second one is institutions or businesses that are companies. The third one is developers. So let me just talk about each of those briefly. So the first one on this retail side, our product strategy is to be the primary financial account in the crypto economy. So that means we're the primary place where you store your crypto, but also increasingly you can connect more and more things into that primary financial account. So you can do borrowing and lending, or you can have Coinbase Card or Coinbase Earn. And in the near future, you can even connect third-party applications, like any kind of DeFi app or whatever, into that primary financial account. And it's the place where you store all your stuff, but you can also use a lot of things through the primary financial account. The second customer segment, these institutions or businesses out there that are now increasingly getting into the crypto space, for most of them, they have we also want to be the primary financial account, but it looks different. We have to be a qualified custodian. We need to be a prime brokerage. They want to do massive like OTC trades or have different kind of security audit requirements. And so we're also the primary financial account for them, but the products look very different. In the third customer segment, these developers, this is where we want to be kind of more like AWS for crypto. So we're taking a lot of the services that we've built out internally at Coinbase, which power our products, like how we talk to all these different blockchains, how we custody, how we trade, how we do staking, and even identity and logins and stuff. And we're exposing those through these services via Coinbase Cloud. That's our product for developers. And so what we hope is that can be sort of a tool that thousands of other crypto companies or non-crypto companies can use to integrate into the crypto economy. And they don't have to store the crypto with us. They could be doing a self-custodial wallet built on top of that, or they could be building their own custody, or it could be like, Reddit has like these kind of a wallet now with these different tokens and different subreddits. So I think in the future, most startups are going to use crypto in some way, shape, or form. A lot of big companies like banks and whatnot are trying to figure out how to integrate crypto into their products. And they don't all need to come directly to Coinbase. Hopefully they can also use Coinbase Cloud to build a lot of that stuff. So that's a lot of the stuff on our roadmap.
So their aim is to build a primary crypto hub where you'll be able to do everything from buying and selling, sending and receiving, lending and borrowing, storing and staking, and soon to be interacting with DeFi protocols. For me, I think crypto needs to be made a lot simpler to use. In fact, so simple your grandma could use it. Right now, if you've tried to use DeFi or a DEX, then it involves multiple steps. Sending crypto here and there, accepting this and that. Ethereum is crazy expensive, and to use a layer 2 protocol, you first have to bridge your assets across protocols, and it's really only the tech savvy that can use it today. And the vision they are working on today is to make crypto as simple as pressing a button, where all that other stuff automatically happens in the background. Connecting all the chains and layer 2s together for pennies per transaction, as that was the purpose of crypto in the first place, right? Okay, to finish up, as regulation is going to play a really important part in crypto moving forward, how is Brian Armstrong thinking about crypto regulation? Take a look.
And so if you think about how do we ensure that this industry gets to the next 10x or 100x and just keeps helping people all over the world, how do we get the next billion people access to this technology so they can benefit from it? We have to work on blockchain scalability and all these things, but one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one, is how do we explain this in a way to the current establishment, regulators, and everybody, banks and associated with them, that this stuff is here to stay. Yes, there are some risks, but it is a huge net positive for the world, and just patiently explain that in terms that they can understand it. There needs to be these translators, if you will. So Coinbase is playing a big role in that. We hired our chief policy officer who used to run that for Goldman Sachs. We've built out a big team of policy efforts or policy folks who are going and engaging. A16Z is doing an amazing job here. My hat is off to them. They've built a huge policy team, put together tons of material, hosted conferences. They're writing, legal law review papers that judges read. Katie Hahn, who's on our board, is a former DOJ prosecutor. She's just a force of nature, and she and I have had great trips around DC. Coinbase is also funding, along with a number of other companies, this group called the Crypto Council for Innovation, and it's cryptoforoinnovation.org. It's essentially an advocacy group or think tank that is going to, do more of this work, but it can do it as at least one layer removed from the companies themselves. Can go engage with DC and policymakers around the whole world on these issues. So I think that, we're going to have to add another zero to everything that we're doing here, because there's just so many people in so many countries around the world who are starting to think about this, and they just don't have all the information in front of them. And so we can help move the needle on some of these people who are on the borderline. Some people are just going to hate crypto, whether they're on the left or the right. It seems to be a pretty bipartisan thing. It's not really a left or right thing, but some of them just really hate it. We're not going to change their mind for some reason. Others are on the borderline, and we can move their minds. And then there's a ton of big crypto advocates as well in DC and Washington, and we need to hug them tight.
Brian Armstrong is CEO and founder of Coinbase, one of the most successful crypto exchanges in the world. A multi-billionaire, he's one of the key figures leading the way in crypto innovation. His vision is for Coinbase to become the central hub for all your crypto needs, whether buying and selling or sending and receiving, lending, borrowing, storing, staking, NFTs, DeFi. When it comes to investing in crypto, he's simply a fan of dollar cost averaging in a portion of your net worth, and he never plans on selling. The one thing that really annoys him right now about the crypto market is this get-rich-quick mentality. And for the crypto market to be able to 100x from here and serve the next billion people, one of the biggest factors is to be able to explain it to regulators and banks and the current establishment that crypto is here to stay and will be a net positive on the world. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Did anything that Brian say resonate with you? Let me know below. For now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click below and join us. Got some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. Okay, cheers guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.